It's 2012. The long-awaited clash between father and son is coming to an end after 21 years of the Baki manga. 69 chapters of greatness as Baki gets recognized by his father and Yujiro is viewed in a different light by the fans. Many are thinking this is the end of the long-lasting story, concluding with a unique and fitting way according to some. However, this was not the end. 2 years later, the story returns with a new manga, Baki Dao, something the author Itagaki wanted to do during his writing of Baki vs Yujiro, and bring forward a new level of grind. Pretty much weekly chapters for 4 years, from 2014 to 2018. This is where our story of rage begins. The Hanmas are now known throughout the world, with the top above ground martial artists wanting to face Baki, but this level of power is not enough to get really any emotion from the prodigy, just pure boredom. In fact, everyone has the same feeling, being greatly impacted by the father-son fight. Katsumi is spending his time sparring with the likes of Goki, Doppo has gone all the way back to the basics, Motobe is in the mountains on his own grind, Kosho is training like a madman, the doctor is still pushing himself, Jack is doing Jack stuff, Retsu is still on his boxing grind during this, Oliver is wanting to rise to number 1 again, and Baki is still training with everything he has regardless of this boredom. Then it happens. Baki hears a heartbeat across Japan. How, you may ask? Baki logic. With this heartbeat being different to the people he knows, with us seeing that Tokigawa is cloning the legendary samurai Musashi Miyamoto for the purpose of ending everyone's boredom. The warrior of the old age, the strongest under the heavens, the place where the term strongest started, the perfect monster to defeat this boredom, even for those viewed as the strongest creatures. However, this also begs the question of what the other viewed as the strongest is doing now. Well, pretty much being called out by others. Hanayama wants to fight the ogre. Therefore, Tokigawa calls him back to Tokyo for this fight, but of course for something much bigger as well. Hanayama's boredom was quenched by the ogre, and Musashi has now fully awoken. All the pieces are in place. It's time to decide who is truly worthy of wielding the title of strongest. Musashi faces Baki first and knocks him out, then Baki returns while more serious and drops Musashi with a jab, forcing the legend to get more serious, instantly reminding Baki of his father with this level of power coming from the demon, having their next clash conclude with Musashi on top. Therefore, the fandom can now have the perspective that Musashi is above a base form Baki in power, pretty much giving him enough XP to be max level. However, the legendary samurai decides to go on some side quests first. You could view this as final preparation before the DLC or final boss of the series. He has a clash with Doppo Orochi, which is able to easily overpower and defeat. We get the return of Retsu to Tokyo, who does some training with Kaku to prepare for Musashi in an all-out weapon-included fight, which had Musashi dominate on various points, but also take some damage at times, but in the end, Musashi was capable of killing the main character in Retsu, something never seen before in Baki, and something no one ever expected. He proceeds to overcome Goki, proving his worthiness of fighting the number 1 without a doubt. However, on the side, we have something else occurring. Motobe has been going around warning everyone about Musashi and how dangerous he is, with Yujiro wanting Motobe to tell him everything he knows, and then he tells the ogre not to challenge Musashi because he's too much for the strongest creature alive, and that Yujiro should not worry as Motobe will protect him. We have a little bit of rage, but then we finally get it. Yujiro pulls up Musashi 79 chapters into Baki Dao, pretty much in 2015. Perhaps this is time to see the full extent of Yujiro's abilities. We know he recognized Baki as strong, but reading the fight, watching the fight now, I think most of the fandom can agree that Yujiro is still superior at that time to his son, and should be still viewed as the number one strongest character in all of Baki. For Masashi, we've seen him handle a stronger Baki since that fight, as we've seen him continue training to his utmost degrees, and take out some of the other Baki fighters without much trouble. Therefore, which one is stronger? The strongest of the past or of the current? Right away, Masashi views Yujiro as a treasure that reaches the heavens, while Yujiro simply sees the legendary swordsman. Can this legend give Yujiro the challenge he seeks? We'll see. It begins with Masashi's imagination cut having no effect on the ogre, something that has been very powerful in all of his fights prior, or just him using it in general, then trying his real blade. Yujiro proceeds to grab a hold of it and lands a direct blow that sends the master flying, while Yujiro remains holding onto the blade even when Masashi gets more serious, but after swinging the ogre, his grip finally weakens and Masashi gains his respect as a real warrior, meaning he is worthy to face the demon back. Yujiro dodges the first slash with a minor injury, being shocked that he actually had to concede ground to an opponent. We are currently experiencing peak Baki, by the way. The pure intensity is off the charts, the peerless warriors facing off with everything they have. Masashi goes for another attack with the intent to kill the Hanma. However, he is stopped just in time and countered via the almighty nutshot that drops Masashi. Therefore, has Yujiro acquired victory? No. The ancient warrior rises with more to show, no longer wielding his sword. He has found someone to test his ultimate form that he was on the brink of mastering before his original death, the swordless style. Before their next clash, which could result in the death of one of them, absolute respect is once again shown between the two, a fight both have been waiting for their entire lives. Masashi charges with his two swords under heaven style and cuts Yujiro slightly again, proving that he has now mastered the pinnacle of his abilities, followed by a part of Yujiro's hair with the next slash. Masashi is peak power, Yujiro may still be using Demon Back, meaning he is also peak power, and is beyond excited for the next exchange. The swordless warrior charges again. We have all these possibilities to consider, a fight right now that could go either way. The first time ever we've seen Yujiro pushed to this degree and actually be fearful for his defeat. What could happen? The true winner is still up in the air. Everyone is wondering, and then... Yep, Yujiro's reaction is pretty much us as a fandom to this outcome. The single most rage-inducing moment in all of Baki. Or is it? Perhaps part 2 will go over another moment, so leave a like, shout out to the Mad Lads.